This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Made in Australia. Hello everyone. G'day, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone listening and tuning in today here on Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio, one of the official satellite studios of INCRadio, and today will be such an exciting and very musical episode today. I'm so excited. Of course, I need to introduce myself. I almost forgot. My name is, of course, your sister Chloe De La Paz, all the way from the local congregation of Adelaide here in the district of Victoria, Australia. Hello, everyone. How are you? Make sure in the live chat you tell us how you are and your favorite hobbies as well. And if you play any musical instruments or are interested in music, please let us know some of your stories and your experiences as well, because we would love to hear you and we would love to shout you out as well. But of course, again, our topic today is music, and not only will it be me that will be hosting today, we've also got another co-host. Hello, Kuya Warwick.
Hello, and hello, everyone. Thank you, Sister Chloe. So I'm Brother Warwick Malloy from the local congregation of Kingston City here in the district of Victoria. And like Sister Chloe, I'm rather excited. I think this is a fantastic hobby to discuss because everybody can relate to music. Everybody listens to music. People maybe thumb out a beat, on the desk or do something like that as they're working. So, I think it's a great topic to discuss, and it's very, very powerful in a lot of many ways. So, we're so very excited to talk about this particular hobby, the joy of music, and how it inspires creativity, learning, development of, children, even as adults, helps us work, helps us relax, and then even its role in faith. So I think there's a lot of very powerful topics here today. And also, please continue to comment not only about music and your experiences with music, maybe instruments that you've tried to master or challenge yourself with, and maybe bad experiences that could be funny and interesting, but also because we're talking more and more, each of the following episodes this season are about hobbies. Please also remember to mention your hobbies and the hobbies that you love, and please do subscribe, because you never know when we're going to discuss your favorite hobby. So you should subscribe, and then you'll get that notification when the next hobby comes up. Okay, so this is going to be fantastic.
Yes, very exciting. Again, everyone, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe because we have so many of our other hobbies and hobbies and interests that we can discuss here on INCRadio Australia. Not only here on INCRadio Australia, but also in our different INC radio shows. So everyone, grab your cup of coffee because it's freezing cold here in Adelaide. At least get comfy and let's make some noise, the good kind of noise. My favorite kind of noise as we dive into the sound of passion, because we will be talking about making music as a hobby here in the land and under here in Australia. And before we meet our guest, a very musically talented guest today, let's watch a quick feature on how music has become a meaningful hobby for Aussies everywhere. Koya Tech.
In Australia, music is more than just sound. It's a way of life. Whether it's played in the park, at school, or at home, music brings people together, sparking joy and creativity in every note. For some, music is a fun hobby. But for others, it becomes a passion deeply rooted in purpose and faith. Meet our brother, an 18-year-old musician from Australia who began playing instruments at just 3 years old. From percussion to wind to string instruments, his love for music has grown alongside his faith. Over the years, he's earned numerous awards and recognition for his musical achievements. But what makes his journey truly special is how he uses his talent not for fame, but for faith. He began as a children's worship service choir member and now serves as an adult choir member and trainee organist, dedicating his musical abilities to glorify God. Through music, he has found harmony, not just in sound, but in life, faith, and service. In every beat, in every melody, and in every note of faith, Australia continues to make beautiful music.
The puns. The puns, Brother Warwick. We need more puns and wordplay in this episode. It's yeah. Before we continue on, I would like to give some shout outs because there's already so many people and so many watching us here on our live chat. Shout out to Sister Marianne Finn, happy watching from Port Adelaide. Sister Evelyn Vivas from Wyndham, who also greets happy birthday to Sister Lauren Manuel of the local congregation of Wyndham as well. Brother Loreto Salomon, greetings from Townsville. Sister Yana Manalili says, hello po, miss you all in Adelaide. Hello, Ate Yana. And Brother Ruel Acantilado says, happy viewing po to all brethren. We love INC Radio Australia from Shepparton, and we love you too as well. And Brother Edmark Velasco, hello po ka Edmark. Happy viewing po from the District of Queensland up there in the northeast. I almost forgot my directions, Brother Warwick.
It can be tough sometimes, geography. And also, we should just give a quick shout out to Brother Mark Kiseo and Brother Orly Makayan, who I believe are on the live chat.
Yes, I know they're in the live chat. We also have so many other live chat comments. So make sure you continue to shout us. Shout. We will continue to shout you out as well. So keep commenting down in our live chat section. All right. Go on, Brother Warwick.
Thank you, Sister Chloe. So, look, that video, that intro clip that we just played shows so much of what Brother Grissom's doing. And I think it's fantastic. And it's just so touching to see your family, appear in that video clip in so many of those photos. So I want to really touch on that. That's just, it just looks awesome. I find it pulling on my heartstrings, actually, I have to say.
Yes, exactly. So, I think now's a good time to introduce our guest,
Yes.
actually, Brother Warwick. Isn't that right? So we have a very, very musically talented guest that we've hinted at in oh my goodness. On our Discovering Down Under video. Brother Grissom, please introduce yourself.
Hello, po. My name is Brother Grissom. I am from the local congregation of North Brisbane here in the District of Queensland.
Yes, and let us know your duties as well, Brother Grissom.
Yes, I am an adult choir member and I am a trainee organist as well. So
yes, very musical.
Yes.
Very musically inclined, and we will get to know him a little bit more. Isn't that right, Brother Warwick?
Absolutely. He's not going to get away too easily. There's many.
No, he's got an hour with us, and you've got an hour with us, Brother Warwick, of just band kids, just probably yapping about music. So everyone, continue to tune in. You're still watching Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio, one of the official satellite studios of INCRadio. We'll be right back.
It doesn't take something big to show love. The right and thoughtful choices made with care can make a parent smile and turn an ordinary day into something special.
Dishes done, floors clean, a surprise mom and dad when they get here.
Wow! Hello, son.
Mom, you're early.
The house looks great.
Plus, I'm done with my assignments.
Oh, really? Oh. You always do your chores without being told. We see your effort, Carl, and we're proud of you. Here, we got you something.
What? How'd you know I want this? Thank you.
A child who brings joy to their parents is blessed even without asking. In the same way, when we live to please God, He gives us more than we could ever hope for. A reminder from Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio. Made in Australia.
you're muted. Try it again. Hi, everyone.
Good old
Go
mute.
for it, Kuya Warwick.
I was taking a sip of water. It's hot right here where I am in Victoria. So welcome back, everyone, to Made in Australia. Tonight, we're joined by a young man who we've started the introduction of, and it's going to be an interesting conversation.
Oh, 100%.
And I can't help but ask, Brother Grissom, what was the first instrument you started learning and practicing?
Oh, first instrument. I suppose if you classify voice as an instrument, then that would be the first instrument. I think we all start. Well, I started singing just whatever was playing on the radio, along with my parents. At a young age. There's probably videos of me singing along to the sound of music with my mum when I was still a toddler. So yeah, I would say probably voice. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that shows the relationship or the environment that family can create for developing a new skill, at a young age.
100%. What other instruments do you play, Brother Grissom?
So I also play the piano. I play the guitar just as a bit of a hobby. At school, I play trombone, I play cello, and I play percussion as well. And inside the church, as well as singing, I play the organ.
Yes. A lot of instruments. And the crazy thing is that it takes a different skill to learn each of them. So the way that you, for example, read notes on the percussion is quite different from the way that you would read notes on things like the trombone and the piano, especially. So very, very talented, our guest for today. Very noteworthy, if I do say so myself. Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Before we get into our discussion, before we delve into our discussion today, I would also just like to keep going with our live chat. We would like to give our shout outs to Brother William Manabat. Hello to all family. Happy viewing po from Eric Estrella and family greetings from Shepperton. From Mags Magna, hi po Medina family from Altona. We would also like to give a shout out to our district choir director here in the District of Victoria, Australia, Brother Joseph Capnio. Hello po. I know that he's tuning in along with the choir members from the local congregation of Melbourne. So we would like to give you a special shout out, especially because today is all about music. And he has seen me grow up to be an organist. So I have to give credit where credit's due, of course. So again, we know that Brother Grissom, he's very young. He's a child. He's a baby. He's 18. To me, that is a child. It's really inspiring to see someone your age with such passion and dedication to music. So let us know how it all started before we get into the real nitty gritty. So how did you start learning music?
Yeah, well, as I said, and as Brother Warwick mentioned, it kind of just, I kind of grew up with it. My parents always playing music. And, in an environment like that, you sort of just learn to sing. But then at a young age, my parents started me on piano. They got me piano lessons when I was, I think, 3, something around that age. So at a very young age, my parents were already starting me on that journey, getting me started, helping me learn music. And then, obviously, as I got older, as soon as I could, my parents got me into the choir for CEBSI, or the Children's Worship Service. So being a choir member, it really helps, especially as a child, to give me insight into what faith really looks like. Helps me build that up. But then, obviously, you're learning music at the same time. So yeah, I sort of grew up with it, and it's always sort of surrounded me throughout my life, in church or in school. So
Yeah.
I want to unpack this a touch. So what I mean by this is, for those who are, let's say, not a musician. So for instance, just to make it clear for everybody who's listening and watching, Brother Grissom is obviously a musician. That's why he's here in this conversation. Sister Chloe is also a musician. Right, so she plays the organ in front of a whole bunch of people, and that's not kidding around stuff. That's real. And then I'm not a musician. I'm not even close. I don't even dream of being a musician. Right now, but I've done other disciplines. Right, so I've studied, for instance, martial arts, judo, kung fu. Right, so at a young age, judo, and then I learned to program at a young age. Now you might say, well, okay, so what? But the point is, the support of parents at an early at an early point in life, right, in that moment of development, is really, really powerful and impactful on a child that's developing and growing. You can learn things at any age in life, but it's so much easier to do it as a child. How do you feel about that? I want to open the question to both of you. When it comes to music, how do you feel about having learned, in the younger years of your life?
Brother
Yeah.
Grissom, start with you.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm very blessed. And I think that is, I'll say it's a smart move because my mom's watching. So good job, mom. No, but I mean it. It's very smart, and she knows that because that's what she studies. But it was to get children learning so many new things as a kid. I mean, like I did music and stuff, but Brother Warwick, I guess I can relate to you. I did jujitsu as a kid as well. So my mom just got me into so many different things as a kid that I suppose it really makes your mind flexible. And then music itself is such a complicated topic that making it intuitive at a young age is, I guess, really important. So yeah, I agree. How I feel about that is I feel glad. I feel blessed to have been allowed to learn this at such a young age.
Because when you're a kid, you're like a sponge.
Yeah.
Everything you absorb, absolutely everything that you learn, and it's easier to learn when you are at a young age where everything is basically like your day zero, your first step. You're learning the foundations of what it's like to read and write and do math, like do simple equations. Adding in another foundation of music and those kinds of skills is a lot easier to absorb.
Yes.
That's what I found as well. So we got to know a little bit about Brother Grissom. And before we get into the nitty gritty and before we get into before we sharpen up our minds, the puns. The puns are here, everyone. Before we sharpen up our musical journey, let's have some fun with our favorite segment, everyone. Let's go on to game time.
It's game time. Let's play.
Today is all about music trivia, Australia edition. So everyone, get your keyboards ready and get ready because we only have 3 questions today. So it means it's going to get even more competitive. So everyone, please continue to lock in on your keyboards. Let's go on to our first question, Korea Tech.
So the question there is, which Australian city hosts the world famous Tamworth country music event?
Is it A, Sydney, B, Melbourne, C, Tamworth, and D, Perth?
Now, don't
Different
just
parts of the world.
B, C, or D. Give us A, blah, or B, blah, whichever your answer is, but tell us the letter and the name. So then we know exactly which one you intended to tell us. Please.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you need a music degree for this question.
Yeah, I know, right?
Or geography.
What do we... It's like, for me, like, what do we think the answers are, brothers?
Exactly. Oof.
I think it's
Also,
E, Adelaide.
Yeah, can I put in F, Brisbane?
Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
favorite city in Australia? Just make it that. See, but like Brother Warwick's in Melbourne, and it's already one of the answers.
Well, that's right. See, so it's easy
So-
for me. I can be sharp about it.
Oh,
Nice. He's getting into it.
amazing.
He's
Yeah.
getting into it.
Our what we should do
We
is
have
we should
people-
have
Yeah.
we should have a pun, each one of us.
Yeah.
That's our challenge for today.
We can be puntastic.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. that really struck a chord with me, brother.
Ooh.
A lot of energy. I like this. Do we have any answers? I know there's already some on the comment section. Ooh, a lot of people are picking C. We have Sister Geraldine Naga saying C. We also have Brother Michael Naga says C as well. While we wait for the answers, let's go over to some more live chat comments. I know I have some special shout outs to Sister Kez and Sister Sean from the local congregation of Melbourne. They're also tuning in. Hello, hello, everyone. Um, we have Sister Karen Marquina says, C, happy long weekend, everyone. So C is Tamworth.
And
we
she's from
also
the congregation of Kingston. I know that because that's my congregation.
Woo! Kingston City represent. Who else do we have? Sister Karen, yep. Sister Mardi, my mom. Hi, mom. Shout out to my mom, Sister Mardi, and Brother Troy de la Paz. She says Perth. She wants to be a little bit different. I don't know. Should we look at our answer, Brother Warwick?
I think it's time.
I think it's time. Let's go over to our answers. Kritek. C, Tamworth. Again, as the name suggests, the Tamworth. What's it called? The Tamworth Country Music Event.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think we could all. I think we could all see that one coming. Yeah.
Where is Tamworth? Queensland? I think it might be in Queensland. While we figure that out, let's go over to the second question. Kriyatek? All right. What is Australia's national music instrument often used in Indigenous music or First Nations music? A, is it the didgeridoo? B, ukulele, C, recorder, and D, pan flute. Speaking of ukulele, I actually saw a comment earlier that mentioned from Sister Jacqueline Galliard that tried to play the ukulele using YouTube tutorial videos. Might go back to learning some pieces, especially after you've probably tuned into our episode. Shout out to you and shout out to the local congregation of Shepparton for always being so supportive. Did we figure out where Tamworth was?
It's in New South Wales. You guys, yeah.
I didn't know that. It sounded like it was from Queensland. We already have some answers. Samuel Doctor says A, didgeridoo. Sister Karen Marquina says A, didgeridoo. So does Sister Geraldine Nagal. And Brother Michael John Nagal says A as well. Sister Zylan, hi at the Zylan. Dariada. She says A, didgeridoo. I think it is a toss-up. What do you think, Brother Grissom?
I think I know this one because I've had experience with someone who actually plays this. I didn't know them personally, but I worked with them when I did like symphony stuff in my local areas. So I am leaning towards A.
A, didgeridoo. I am tossing up between A and C because the first instrument I ever learned and is a core memory in year 3 and year 4 is recorder. Recorder classes is where it's at.
I think it's definitely classified as a national instrument, but I think it's the First Nations that makes it. Yeah,
most likely.
Yeah,
recorder definitely. I think everybody in high school learned recorder as their first instrument, probably because the didgeridoo is tough. You know,
it is a tough instrument. For everyone who doesn't know what a didgeridoo is, how would you describe it, Brother Grissom?
I'd describe it as like a hollowed out log, like a long hollowed out log. You sort of buzz into it, and then you can hit it as well with. I believe they just use boomerangs. Like they just hit it with boomerangs as well. I wouldn't know the proper terminology, but it's a fascinating instrument. I love the way it sounds.
It really is. That's actually a really good description. I don't think I could have described it better. It really is a big log that's hollowed out. It's like a really long instrument as well. Like the size of it, it's not like small.
No.
Like it's actually massive. We have Sister Rhea Kasea saying A as well. Let's look at the answers. What is the answer, Kriyatek?
We didn't see that coming.
Yeah. I didn't think. No, the didgeridoo is an amazing instrument. There are, especially during high school and primary school, in a lot of the school assemblies, the there would always be a musician playing the didgeridoo, and that was always a key memory because I am in awe of anyone who can play the didgeridoo because that is a very hard instrument to learn. All right, let's go on to our third and final question, everyone. Clear tech.
True or false? The Sydney Opera House was originally designed as a concert hall for symphonies and operas.
Ooh. The Sydney Opera House is a landmark. Genuinely, how would you describe what the Sydney Opera House looks like, Brother Warwick?
It looks like sails. You know, it looks like a sailing boat in the distance just because of the shape of its roof, and it's a real feat of architecture and engineering, for that matter. And I think for Sydney, it is the greatest landmark that's commonly recognised almost anywhere in the world. People can see that and they think Australia, Sydney. You know, like it's just synonymous with Australia, I think.
Oh, 100%. Whenever I have talked to my friends, especially from abroad, I always ask, oh, like, what do you think of when you think of Australia? They're always either going to say kangaroos, koalas, or the Sydney Opera House. Like, it's one of those three. And
right next to the Harbour Bridge.
Yeah.
So it's like landmark, bang, landmark.
100%. Yeah. I thought the Sydney Opera House looked like shark fins. That's just how I look. That's how I saw them. And then the Harbour Bridge, it really is a bridge. Like, it's just I don't know. Like, I think for me, when I see the Sydney Harbour Bridge, I think of the people who like climb up on it.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
I've done that.
You've done that?
Yeah.
You have a tour, right? Did you do it as a tour?
No, it wasn't a tour. And I will relate this to music because I was in Sydney for a music trip. And so in our free time, we got to go up the Harbour Bridge. It was an experience. It's really windy up there. Yeah.
That is terrifying. That's petrifying.
You know, the Harbour Bridge, that is, okay, it's windy, it's tough, you've got to climb it. But imagine, it's a structure that when they have to keep painting it, and when they're done painting it, right, like they start at one end, they paint, they get to the end. By the time they've finished, they've got to go start again because it just takes that long.
Yeah. Which, like, why can't they start like on either end and then meet in the middle? My brain works a bit weird, Queer War. We have some answers. Brother Carlo Falian says false. Brother Samuel Doctor says false. Brother Michael Nagal says true. Sister Jacqueline Gallardo says false. Sister Violet Mercado says true po. Brother Ruel Acantilado says true.
Because I think it kind of begs the answer true, right?
Yeah, because I think the Opera House is synonymous with a lot of the symphony orchestras, and it's kind of the landmark place. So, for example, when world-renowned symphony orchestras kind of go around, like do world tours, when they go to Australia, more likely than not, they will go to the Sydney Opera House. So let's see. Sister Karen Marquina also says true. Okay, let's look at the answer, Createch. True. So the Sydney Opera House was originally designed as a concert hall for symphonies and operas. And shout out, because back in 2016, we actually held Oz 40 in Sydney Opera House. That was amazing. Performing there, watching performances, attending a worship service. So that was an amazing experience. Were you there, Brother Chris and Brother Warwick?
Personally, I was not. I would have been. How old would I have been? That was 9 years ago. I would have been 9. So I didn't attend. Sorry, should I have not mentioned the age?
That's all right. I think we've told people, we've given away how old you are.
Yeah, genuinely. He's a child. But thank you everyone for joining us in our game time today. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed some Australian related music trivia. Isn't that right, Kuya Warwick?
Yes, that was awesome.
Yes. So let's move on to our roundtable discussion. And let's talk a little bit more about Brother Grissom. So you've mentioned that you've played a lot of instruments, especially as you were growing up. Um, why do you like to play instruments, or why do you have such a big passion for music, Brother Grissom?
Music, I suppose it helps that it was really ingrained to me as a kid, but playing music is such a great way to express my emotions. Um, I can let out any pent up emotions I have, or if I just, I've been feeling happy, I can express that through a piece. It's a great way to express yourself. Basically, helps you feel it's an extension of myself at this point.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Brother Warwick?
I can relate to that. I mean, it's a creative endeavor. Whether it's drawing music, as in playing music, or even coming up with your own music, or writing. A lot of these creative hobbies, are about expression, and there's an interesting mental process that you undergo in the process. And how do you find yourself getting almost into a trance when you're playing music? Like, does it, how does it, what happens, in the brain when you're doing that, Brother Christian?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's like, some people have it when they're studying, or like athletes also refer to it. But like, we have the flow state when we're playing music. Sometimes if I'm at home playing, I'll just I won't even realize how much time has passed, and then I'll have practiced for like an hour or something, and I'm like, wow, that was really helpful. Or when playing for practices as a trainee organist, sometimes you just really let yourself feel the hymn, and then you just play, and it just lets itself play.
Yeah, I can relate to that. So I think I mentioned before that programming was something I started very early in life, like when I was 10. And you get into the flow state when you're coming up with an idea, you're creating things, telling the computer to do stuff, and at the end of it, yes, so your time just disappears, and you go, it's nighttime again. What happened? Sister Chloe, can you relate to that?
Oh, 100%. I find music very therapeutic for me. It's a way for me to relax, um, because it's kind of my outlet to kind of express myself, but also at the same time practice. It helps me keep like an organized like daily activity to do, um, because I that's the way that I practice discipline. I guess the most that I've known, because I've been doing it for so long. Like I've been playing music for as long as I can remember. So that to me is the most intuitive thing for me to do. I feel like if I don't practice every day, it feels a little bit empty. I'm like, oh, something's a bit wrong with my day. But yeah, what do you think is the most interesting thing about music, Brother Grissom? Like, for someone who doesn't necessarily have an interest, or someone who hasn't delved into music, what do you think is like the key, like the most interesting part about it?
I mean, there are people who say that they haven't delved into music, or they don't touch music a lot, but I feel like it's hard to avoid, like even just tapping on your desk when you don't want to focus at school or something. That's still kind of music. um, but yeah, the most interesting part about music, I guess, well, there's a lot of sides to it. You can do whatever you want with music. You can use it as a means of expression. You can use it as a way to relax. You can do it if you're bored. I guess sometimes if I'm bored, I'll just, yeah, you know what? I'll practice extra today. Or there's just so many sides to it, and it doesn't even have to be just playing music. People who listen to music, I mean, people who listen to music, some of them can have such great ideas. Diving into how stuff is made, how stuff is written, and then on that note, people who write music. I have a great deal of respect for composers, because anything I try to compose doesn't and that's how I want it
No,
to sound.
same.
Yeah, like yeah, there's so much stuff you can do with music, that it applies to everyone in our life, I reckon.
100%. The thing with music that I absolutely adore is that there's always something for everyone. It's such a broad um, category of an interest. For example, you like classical music, amazing. You like popular music, also amazing. If you like something a little bit more creative, a little bit more um, like rooted into history, you go with jazz. And you appreciate not only the actual sounds of the music, but also its history and its like theory and your knowledge. Um, yeah, I think it's very like nerdy of me to say
And
that. Brother Warwick, what do you think?
well, I was just thinking. So both of you made the comment that composition is tough. I think I can relate to that. I mean, you can't just bang on a keyboard like piano or organ and expect that note salad to make any sense or to sound at all. You know, it could just be a cacophony, right, of crazy sounds. So it's a little bit like color, in that only certain combinations of color make sense and look good together. So only certain sounds actually sound good together. You know, there's resonance, there's beat. You know, there's a lot to it. So actually, I want to ask. So, Brother Grissom, first of all, you know, in terms of the different instruments that you've learned, it's probably good to slowly unpack it just a little bit, so everybody who's listening can sort of really understand the I guess the gravity of what we're saying here. So let's see, there were some string instruments, right? So piano, remind me here, guitar, let's see, and then there was some. Oh, and then yes, exactly, percussion. And I particularly want to pull apart. Well, when we say percussion, what are we talking about? Is it just drums? Is it tambourine? What are we talking about?
Yeah. So in a professional sense, I suppose people would have specialized percussion instruments. And I guess I should define percussion. It's sort of just percussion is the family of instruments that are made where sound is made by like hitting them or shaking them, sort of. That's why it's percussive. But yeah, as you know, in a high school sort of sense, we sort of have to play everything. So it ranges from xylophones to the drum kit to the timpani. Yeah, just because we don't really have the amount of people, I guess, or the skills to just specialize in one instrument and let everyone handle the rest. So yeah, that's percussion, sort of in a nutshell, I suppose.
And how would you, in terms of these different instruments that fundamentally work differently, how did you practice and learn these instruments in a way that, sometimes you learn something and then you learn something else, and the second lesson blocks the first lesson in terms of memory, right? Like psychologists call that retroactive inhibition, right? The second memory inhibits the first. So how do you learn more instruments without forgetting the first set of instruments?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I suppose I wouldn't say I've ever had to deal with that. Actually, that's fascinating. I guess
What a
if you just keep
flex.
practicing, okay. I mean, like, I think it's just because I've been playing everything. Like, if I learn another instrument, I'm not going to abandon the first one.
Yeah.
And then I suppose if I do, like, I switch from violin to cello. If you gave me a violin right now, I wouldn't be able to play at the level I did before. I mean, I might still have that some memory, but again, it's just active recall, I suppose. I just keep practicing, just keep playing. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's ask the audience who may be giving us messages in YouTube. So please let us know in terms of what instruments you might have tried to learn and how you went about it. Like drop in a comment, because these are interesting. I would think, they say that if you play, right? So when it comes to learning, there's different kinds of ways to learn. And if you sort of play, so you're sort of teasing at it and playing with something without it being too formal, too much pressure, that you can learn different things and kind of combine those together. Would you say that's true, or am I just making things up?
No, I think that's definitely true. I have to play different instruments, and so I have to look at different in music, I would have to look at different clefs. So for trombone, I have to look at the bass clef. For cello, I have to look at the bass clef. If I'm playing piano, I have to look at both. Back when I played violin, it would be the treble clef. So I guess by having to learn all those stuff, by forcing myself to learn all those different ones, it allowed me to combine them later. And then I can definitely say as an organist, it helped. I didn't have to learn a separate clef if I already knew it.
Now, you just drove my understanding of music over a clef. So what do you mean by a clef in this particular context?
Yeah, I should explain that. So in music, when we have, I think we all have a
You got this, Kristen.
somewhat basic on. Yeah, this is me trying to show that I've learned something during organist classes. So in music, I think we all have a basic understanding. We've seen like the lines and then the dots on those lines or in between the lines. Those are the notes. You see those in any sort of like illustration for music, right? Clefs are a way to define which notes go where on those lines. So a treble clef will have the notes FACE in the spaces, but
You're
the
so
bass
technical.
clef will have. Yeah, I mean, we all know do re mi fa so. It's just where they go. It's like a different way to read each one.
Which makes it more confusing, Brother Warwick, because different instruments have to, like what Brother Grissom alluded to, different instruments read music scores very differently. So for example, it's not translatable what you play on the flute versus what you play on the percussion instruments, because they're quite someone who plays the guitar, their music scores will look completely different to each other's, even with things like the organists, like music sheets and music scores. They're very, very different. All right, you mentioned the YouTube live chat earlier today, Kuya Wark. I just wanted to give more live chat comments. Hello to Brother William Manabat. Hello po to all brethren. Happy viewing po from Shepperton. Hello to Sister Farah Mosa. Hello, Tita. How are you? Sister Violet Mercado also says hi. We have Sister Irene Ira. We love supporting INC Radio Made in Australia from Maddington over there in Western Australia. Thank you always for supporting us. But Sister Jacqueline Galliarde. Brother Grissom, love the room full of your instruments, brother. From Shepperton. And Patrolin Balolo, he says, happy viewing po from Brimbank, and congratulations for winning the Songs of Salvation chorale competition. This was held last week, which is actually a really good way to segue into the different activities that we have for the church in terms of music and arts. We have so many. So just this past week, we've had the Songs of Salvation, which is a choral competition. We also have activities and events such as the Songs of Faith, Love, and Hope. We have concerts from throughout the world that just celebrate music. We also have like songwriting competitions and lyric writing competitions as well, which are so inspiring, because it allows our brethren to showcase and express themselves through music, which is so inspiring. Brother Grissom, you've mastered a lot of instruments, and I'm assuming that you've also performed your own fair share of performances. Do you have a memorable performance that really sticks into your brain?
Yeah, well, I want to say I haven't mastered instruments because it's a strong word.
Again,
I don't want to.
A very musically diplomatic answer.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that because like it's so hard to claim that you've mastered an instrument when I know that I can always learn more. You know, but I can say I comfortably am familiar with a lot of these instruments. As for memorable performances, so many of them would be stuff we've done for in concerts. I love the stuff that we are able to do here in the church. A lot of the events that we're able to do. Our most recent in concert for here in Queensland, we held one for the 110th anniversary of the church. I was very blessed and I was very privileged. I was lucky enough to conduct the choir for the opening ceremony. It was fantastic. It was a great experience. I was so nervous, but it was great. I loved that, and that, I guess, that's not really an instrument that I was playing. I guess you wouldn't call that an instrument, but it was
Conducting is a
quite
skill in
memorable.
itself.
Oh yeah.
Conducting is such a hard skill. Um, Brother Warwick, what do you know about conducting a choir?
I've certainly observed people doing it, and as we saw it at Songs of Salvation recently. And so, I mean, conducting, you're prompting the different people in. Okay, so if you have an orchestra, essentially, but it doesn't have to be a whole orchestra. But let's say you have a number of people together playing music, then the conductor sets the beat, the timing of the music overall, right? So it's keeping everybody on the same pace. It's a bit like, if you go running and you run with a friend, then you can pace set for each other, right? So the conductor kind of pace sets for everybody, is my understanding. But also sometimes they help remind people to emphasize, play it louder. You see them kind of waving their arms sometimes, louder, and now you, and then like this, and so the sort of the gestures have meaning, right?
That's exactly. You can be a conductor, Clear Warwick.
I love the way you
100.
describe that. Yeah, I love the way you describe that because it's such a down to earth view. Like it's true. I love the example of pace setting because it's true.
100%.
And actually, there's something there too. I wanted to peel into, as it were, or pull back from. So people, particularly those who are watching who might not be members of the church, may not understand how deep this is in terms of feeling. Like, why does it feel like a blessing? Because Brother Grissom mentioned it was a blessing to play at the 110th anniversary. So when you believe in God and you believe that God is your creator, and that we are, God wants us to serve Him and worship Him, and this is very clearly made in the Bible. Then the interesting thing is, when you're there helping with the choir, you're using music to lead people to feel the same way. It's an expression, as you're saying, right? Everybody goes on a sort of an emotional journey together, and it's all for the glory of God. It's really emotional to be part of that, because you're bringing everybody on that same sort of emotional journey in many ways. And as the choir, so if you're in the choir or if you're playing the organ for the choir, then you're setting the pace, right? You're the pace setter for everybody who's in the choir. And choir has often been part of Christianity. Like the singing has been a big part of Christianity for thousands of years, in fact.
And
So
very very Bible based. The choir. It is in the Bible. How does it feel, Brother Grissom, to know that such musical talents allow you to be a kind of a vessel to serve our Lord God, especially as an organist trainee?
Yeah, it's a blessing. That's in every sense. It's such a blessing. I have been blessed with these gifts, so why not use these to return all the praise to our Lord God? And I don't know how to phrase this without because I don't want to. I like performing music. I love doing what I do, and I don't want to come off as if I'm ever showing off for this sort of stuff because I just genuinely enjoy this stuff. I do it for fun. But people will come up and say, "Oh, you did really well," and I appreciate it as much as I appreciate it. I never feel like it's for me. And that's what we mean when we say all the praises back to our Lord God, because that praise isn't for me. That praise is to the one who gave this talent to me. So I return it all. I use it for everything I do. I do it for the Lord God because it's the talent that He gave me. It's a great blessing to be a choir member, and then to be allowed to be a trainee organist is even better. And with God's grace, I will be taking oath soon. I'll be able to perform in the CEBSI, the Children's Worship Service, and I'll, all the more I'll be able to use the talents that I have been given for what they should be used for.
See, and he's only 18, Kuya Warwick. Can you believe
Exactly.
it?
Exactly.
I love how articulate he is with his words.
Yes.
Because it shows that he has a deep love for God and for all of the talents that he has received. He's not taking any of the credit for himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was raised right, so.
Oh, see, no wonder why Sister Liberty has been she's been spamming those like emojis. No wonder why at the Liberty. No wonder why. Yes, I
It,
definitely relate. As someone who has been an organist for more than half my life, you know, not just an organist, but I've been a trainee organist ever since I was 10. That was when I started. And having that for most of my life has really kept me grounded and has reminded me that all the talents, you can have all the talents in the world, you can have all of the compliments in the world, really. But at the end of the day, it is our Lord God who gives us these gifts. And when people ask me, I get this question a lot as an organist, is that what's your favorite part about being an organist? It's how special and sacred of a duty it is that in I guess in a lot of people's perspective, it can be a lot of pressure because it's a lot of responsibility to set that pace, to lead the choir. But at the end of the day, it's just this unexplainable and incomparable blessing to be able to be the only one that gets to play on the organ in that worship service or in that special gathering. It really is. You feel humbled and grateful every time that you perform because God only God chose you.
yes.
You know, like of all the people in the world, really, it's so great. I'm so grateful, and it's really inspiring. So yes,
Yeah.
um,
Like it's funny, we say blessing here like we say it like it's a small thing. It's a little bit like saying, "Oh yes, I was on fire," you know, and completely deadpan about it. But in fact, the emotion behind it is significant because you're really helping. Everybody there is feeling something. They can hear what you're doing, and if you're playing the organ, and I don't say this to put you under more pressure, either of you, but the fact of the matter is, if you go one key wrong, everyone recognizes it immediately. And so the trick is, if that happens, you just got to keep moving. You have to move on, and you're there setting the pace, the timing for everybody. It's for the whole congregation, and everybody's there, and they're very conscious of what's happening. So it is a very big responsibility that you're carrying, and requires a lot of discipline to practice, a lot of sacrifice of the time to practice for all that. So it's a big, big deal. It's a lot of emotion that goes into that.
100%. And you know what? I'm really sad because we are running out of time.
Yes.
Brothers, I'm so sad because I would love to yap about this all day, every day. Brother Grissom, before we move on to our next segments, would you like to give your shout outs and your greetings?
Shout outs and greetings. I'll start. Okay, I'll start local. To the brother behind the screen, brother Aaron. Thank you for taking tech today. Yeah, he's fellow North Brisbaneite. Um, yeah, I mean everyone in North Brisbane has always been so supportive as I've done my organist training. So shout out to everyone in the choir. Thank you all. Aaron, to Aaron's sister. At the Ariane, she's the organist in our locale, so she's been a great teacher as well. What about the other districts? To Denver, they're in Victoria. He's such a cool guy. He's awesome. Yeah, the Binhi there are very lucky to have him. So in New South Wales, brother Jaron, I don't know if he's watching, but hello. To the Dadios family in Canberra, I suppose. RJ, he was a childhood friend. We've known each other since we were 1, but he unfortunately had to move away from Brisbane a few years back. There's so many people I could greet.
Shout out your mom.
Family.
Shout out your mom.
Yeah, the one who raised me, the one who got me started on this journey. Another one behind the screen. Hi, Mom. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You have a whole speech. Brother Grissom, apart from his I think it's also worth noting he's also in the district Binhi. He's also a district Binhi officer. Well, not anymore because you've just turned 18 and you're KD1 now. But
I'm KD1
district
now.
District Binhi, for those of you The Binhis are the baptized members of the church between the ages of 12 to 17. Kadiwas are those that are baptized and are single over the age of 18. There we go. We got that out of the way. Before we move on, this is another one of our favorite segments, everyone, because we're almost out of time and I'm so sad. So let's go on to our gift of the gab. Kriyatek?
G'day, and welcome to Gift of the Gab, where we expand our vocabulary and explore new words. Today's word is solemn. The core meaning of solemn is to be formal, serious, and characterized by deep sincerity. It implies an act or promise made with profound reverence and a complete absence of levity. When a matter is solemn, it is not taken lightly. It demands deep respect and an unwavering faithfulness to the gravity of the occasion. We as members of the Church of Christ hold our worship service with utmost solemnity. We treat each part of our sacred gathering with seriousness and sincerity because we want to please our Lord God. Thanks for listening to Gift of the Gab. We look forward to seeing you next time and hope these words continue to inspire you as we delve deeper into unique literature each week. Take care and we'll see you then.
Perfectly timed. Because, of course, the role of the choir is very solemn.
Very solemn. That's one of the words that we tend to use a lot in the choir. To have solemn hymn singing and the solemnity of the hymn singing. So very timely. You might say that it's in harmony with our topic for today.
Exactly. Harmony, exactly.
I can't take myself seriously.
Not solemn, but very effective.
Very effective. Let's go on to our comments one last time for today's episode. Sister Jan Lakangan, happy viewing here from Tasmania, from Hobart. Emmy Moray says, hello, happy viewing from here in Tasmania, the local congregation of Hobart. Brother Jason Pulgat says, hello, happy viewing po to all brethren from Shepparton. Sadelina Benya says, hello po, happy watching and God bless po from Melbourne. And one last one, let's go with, Sister Avi Limarag, happy viewing po from Adelaide. Hello to the Adelaide Strong, team from the, of course, I'm biased because I'm from the local congregation of Adelaide. But yes, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Ooh!
To the very last. To the very last.
I know.
To the very last.
And tonight, exactly, resonate is a good. Tonight reminded us, everyone, that music isn't just a sound; it's a story, a passion, and a way to glorify, of course, our Lord God. So, whether you're strumming a guitar or playing my favorite is the timpani. But of course, shout out to the flute, to the flautists, or playing a violin. Music can bring joy to your day and harmony to your heart. So thank you so much, Brother Grissom, for being our guest and for sharing your story today. And to everyone in our live chats who joined us and told your story as well. Special thanks to our INCRadio Australia crew for today, including our tech for today, Brother Aaron Ventura. Thank you, Kriya Tech. And to Sister AJ as well for being a real trooper when it comes to our YouTube comments. Thank you so much. And of course, to our Christian family organizations for making shows like this possible. And above all, we would like to thank our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angela Aranya Vimanala, for all of your support. And most importantly, our dear beloved brother, Eduardo Vimanala, our Executive Minister. Thank you so much, but we love you so much. And happy birthday, Bob. As well, Ka Eduardo, we love you so much. But until next time, everyone, keep your faith strong and your hearts in tune. Amazing, Kuya Warwick.
Exactly. And so here's our thank you videos dedicated to all of our listeners and viewers. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
From the bushland to the beaches and everywhere in between, let's thank this week's Mates of Mia.
local congregation of Manor Lakes.
Thank you.
Bye everyone. Bye everyone. My heart's working. Yay!
Shout out Ate Liz, Kaknyo, New South Wales. Hi, Ate.
Shout out to Karen. She answered so many questions correctly. Yay! From Kingston.
Bye, everyone.